Hey, what up, y'all? So I wanted to talk a little bit about false pregnancies. I had a lot of questions people asked me lately. First of all, we got a 140-pound male playing with a little 18-pound Frenchie. People always ask me how my dogs do it or if they're animal aggressive. I got a male and female currently wrestling right here. But anyways, with the false pregnancies, a phantom pregnancy, whatever you want to call it, you got to understand, in a pack setting, when the alpha bitch goes into heat and she gets bred, the other females ovulate as well so that they can whelp her puppies and they're producing milk at the same exact time. So when you have a female come into heat and you have multiple other females with that stud and that female at that house, you might get a phantom pregnancy. Even though you do not breed a bitch and you know for sure that your male did not get her pregnant and they didn't breed at any point, she starts developing breasts and she's getting fatter, she's eating more food. Sometimes they even nest as well. But that's called a phantom pregnancy. It happens more often than you would think. But you just want to make sure that if she is producing milk, that A, you get it out of her and get it to stop. And what you do is massage their breasts. You don't want her to get mastitis. But that's common. A lot of people don't know the reason why dogs have phantom heats so easily. And why that is like I just said, so that they can nurse the other, the alpha female's puppies. In a wolf pack, not every wolf will be bred to. Only the alpha bitch and the alpha female will normally have a litter. And those other dogs that are lower ranking, the other wolves will nurse while the mom's away. So that's why dogs still continue to do that. Easy! Hey! Easy! That's why they still continue to do that. If you guys have any more questions or anything you'd like to know about pregnancy or whatnot, feel free to shoot and let me know. This is not fighting in any ways. You want a solid pack structure. You want your dogs to know who's dominant. You want them to wrestle. This is playing. They don't have hands. They only have their mouth. They're just roughhousing. That's about 330 pounds of muscle right there. We got the queen just watching over, making sure they're doing everything right. We got the stud over here flirting. Tiger and Drama will be bred in the future, as well as he'll be bred to Chloe. Why we don't breed our dogs until they're at least 2.5, 3 years old is because we want our animals to mature. I want to see their characteristics. We want to see how their temperament is. Too many people start breeding dogs at 10, 11 months old using a stud just because he can produce semen, and that's not right. You don't know if that dog's going to turn out. You don't know if he's going to have a stable mind. You don't know if he's going to be nervy. That's not how we do things over here. The name's Consistent for a reason. I picked that name, Consistent Kennels, because everything we do, we're trying to do it consistently. Not only are we trying to produce consistent litters that are thought out, but I want the dogs to be consistent. People don't get rid of smart, great dogs. People get rid of bad dogs. If somebody has the best dog of their life and it listens and it's an absolutely amazing dog with their children, they won't move into that house that doesn't allow animals. They'll figure it out. And that's what I want for my pets. But unfortunately, no matter what, sometimes people can't keep all of their animals. So that's why in our contract, we take the dog back no matter what. We have the first option so that we can place the animal in a home or that we can keep the dog. I don't want any of my stock ending up in shelters. People are so ignorant that even if one of my dogs did end up in a shelter, instead of labeling it an American Bully, they would put Pit Bull. And you already know people are so scared to adopt a Pit Bull from the shelter. If you go to your local shelter, like 93% of the dogs in there, it will say Pit Bull. Hey! Easy! It'll say Pit Bull on their cage, and none of the dogs are Pit Bulls. You will not see one purebred Pit Bull in there. You got all types of different Mastiffs and Mastiff mix and American Bulldog and Bully mix and Old English Bulldog. But no Pit Bulls, but yet every single kennel says Pit Bull mix. You got boxer mixes in there, but they call every single thing a pit. I can't wait till I can keep a puppy off this. I'll probably keep a male and a female off of Triger and Drama. And I've said this in my other litters, but that's the difference between somebody that's just breeding dogs and just letting dogs have sex versus a breeder. A breeder is trying to establish something and make an amazing product. They're keeping something off of every line. Every breeding they do is for a reason. They're trying to add something. They're trying to add a piece to the puzzle and improve their stock. And that's what I do. Every time I do a breeding, it's so that I can keep something. I don't just breed two dogs together and sell everything. These dogs have been planned for 5.5 years. 5.5 years has been the making for this, just that one breeding. So much goes into this. People always say, oh yeah, man, I want to start breeding, or I want to make money, or man, it's a never-ending pit. When it's breeding dogs, you always are putting money back into it, reinvesting, getting another foundation bitch, quality food, getting new kennels, upgrading your stuff, getting new bite sleeve. You know, it's a labor of love. If you're trying to breed dogs because you think you're going to get rich, man, you might as well go work on the oil rig or do, hey, easy. That's right there why we crop our dogs' ears. Hey, easy. That's why we get our dogs' ears cropped. Because simply just playing right there that easy, if he nicks her, she could bleed out. Their ears are so vascular. This is simply just roughhousing and she could bleed out. Imagine if they were in the backyard or you weren't home or they're wrestling on the couch and, you know, he accidentally nicks her ear. You don't want to lose your pet, an amazing dog that you love, over something so stupid like that. Took her down like a freight train. Great angulation. So many XLs, back legs, look, they're on stilts. They have no angulation. Hey, get in your yard! Easy, Triger. But yeah, if you haven't seen my other videos, all natural mammals' ears are erect. Wolves, deer, bears, their ears stick up, not only so that they can hear their prey and they can hear predators, but God created them all like that on purpose so that they do not get ear infections. When a dog has floppy ears and their ears flop over, look how large he is next to that 5-gallon bucket. That's a good way to try to decipher his size. His head is massive. If you want something amazing in quality with a great temperament, let me know. Puppies will be available. Email me, consistentkennels@gmail.com. But anyways, all natural mammals, their ears are erect to prevent ear infections. And not only that, but so they can hunt and so they can hear prey. When humans started domesticating wolves, we started breeding their ears to flop, and that caused a lot more ear infections. If we listened and we looked at nature and opened our eyes, we would learn a lot of things, you know. And for the people that were asking about inbreeding and line breeding and saying inbreeding is wrong, every single domesticated dog that you know, every Dalmatian, every wiener dog, every Chihuahua, German Shepherd, Labrador, they were all inbred. In order to create a breed, in order to establish a bloodline of a family of dogs, you have to inbreed and line breed. That's how they got dogs to have that same look, and that's why golden retrievers look like golden retrievers. That's why when you see a Rottweiler, you know it's a Rottweiler, and the same thing with a Beagle. They started breeding dogs. Somebody had a goal. They would breed those dogs. They wanted a specific look, and they wanted them to do specific tasks. They would only breed the dogs that were great at doing those tasks, at those tasks, and the ones that had the looks that they wanted. It didn't matter if the dog looked great, but if he was the wrong color for their program, they would cull him. And a lot of people don't like to talk about that these days, but culling was a practice back in the day where if you were breeding dogs, instead of producing and breeding dogs and having dogs that, you know, were the wrong color, or dogs that just weren't strong mentally enough, or dogs that, you know, didn't turn out, instead of just, you know, clucking those dogs on somebody else, or, you know, just keeping those dogs, they would cull them. So if they were, say they were trying to produce Dalmatians, and a whole bunch of dogs would come out brown or black, they would cull them. They would do it humanely. Some people would do it with a vaccination. Some people would throw them in a bucket of water. I mean, I'm not saying I condone it or recommend it, but I'm just telling you what happened. These days, unfortunately, a lot of people won't do that. Dogs could be born with a cleft lip. They could have serious issues, dwarfism, and people will still try to cluck them off on somebody else, and that's not right. If you're going to play God and you're going to produce an animal, you need to do the right thing. If you produce a dog that has a cleft lip or it's got a serious issue, you need to do the right thing, man. Don't let that dog suffer because you want to make a couple $100. It's not right. I appreciate you guys, man. If you're interested, like I said, you can follow me on Instagram, consistent_kennels. You can also email me if you're interested in a puppy or you have any questions, consistentkennels@gmail.com. This is Triger Man out here with Drama Mama. Heavy Sunline blood. Triger's off of Tillicum and Mary Jane. Tillicum is a white demon son. Mary Jane is off of Azor and Barbie. Azor is off of Gladiator, Sunline, The Rock. Barbie is off of Unstoppable Legion Pitts, Juggernaut. All famous big name dogs. Chloe is off of Mr. Money and Champagne Bubbles. She's my only standard female. Look at all that grass on you, girl. Sit. Hey, Triger. Sit. And we're out of here, y'all. Big love.